heart is full of hate. He butthurts, cries, and a dark shadow falls over this troll. From the ashes of a once great fandom has risen a meme, an LOL that must be liked. We look to the airways for a vindicator, someone to strike fear in the dark basement of the parents who created him. The battle between fan and smart has begun. With a head on his shoulders stands the smart fan, a speaker of truths, with a voice of silence, and a radio show of justice. This is Ring Rust.
WWE TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs on the WWE Network this coming Sunday from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. So we got 6 matches here. I'm sure 1 or 2 more will be added, and certainly something for the pre-show, unless they're planning on, going like a half hour each on each of these matches, and I don't see a handful of these matches going a half hour. They might. You never know. Never say never, as they say. But I don't think many, if any of these matches are going to go a half hour. But again, you never know. So let's get right into it, shall we? So we have the Tag Team Championships for SmackDown Live. Redneck and No Neck, Heath Slater and Rhino, will be defending their titles against Shore, Wyatt Knott, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. And I actually kind of think we may be seeing some new champions. You never know. They could have Slater and Rhino continue being champions for the time being. I don't know. There's nothing. I wouldn't be opposed to it myself. I find the team entertaining enough. They haven't done as much with them as they used to. If they get back to doing stuff, going back to Heath Slater's house and spray cheese on crackers and stuff like that and above ground swimming pools and whatnot, if they go back to doing that, it'll be entertaining again, but we'll see. I do, foresee that there's going to be some new champions. Usually, though, I do predict that someone who challenges for the titles for the first time usually doesn't win it, but this time around I'm actually going to go against what I normally believe and say that the new Wyatt families they're referred to as for some reason, because you replace one person and then you add new. Radio Shrug. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So back to the TLZ preview on the WWE Network. We see Kalisto taking on Baron Corbin in a chairs match, and it's still Baron Corbin being as big as he is, and Kalisto being as small as he is, and even though they're both going to be swinging chairs, they're both going to be swinging chairs, so I'm still kind of predicting Baron Corbin's going to probably win this one. Will be interesting to see how Kalisto pulls one out, but still. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. So next up, we have a no disqualification match, which sees Nikki Bella going up against the lady she gave a nice old shiner to, Carmella, in one of their recent matches. Just pow! Oh, is that a black eye? Oops. Buck, 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 buck. No, it's Brie Bella. Anyway, so I guess they did it because this happened. They set the match like, oh, it's okay, we'll make a no disqualification match. Make it look good. Okay then. Suck. Anyway. Well, Carmella has some revenge due to her, I guess, because of the black eye, so if they're going by that logic, then I imagine Carmella's probably gonna win. I mean, I can see how Nikki Bella would just probably be Nikki Bella and end up winning, but You know, the way I see it, Carmella's due for a little bit of revenge. Whether or not that's how it goes, I don't know. We'll just say Carmella's gonna win anyway.
What?
Oh, Mommy!
You can praise me later.
This is Fanboy Mark Cerrone. You're listening to Ring Rust. So we're halfway done. Previewing the TLC on the WWE Network from Dallas, Texas. So next up we have The Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler. Recently won it only a little while ago at the Survivor Series. So, and this is the first pay-per-view after winning it, so he's kind of still a new champion in that regard, I suppose. So I do anticipate, since, you know, he just won the belt back, I don't anticipate him losing it just yet, but you never know. I wouldn't be surprised, or disappointed certainly, if Dolph Ziggler, still one of the favorites of mine anyway, would win the title back. You never know. They'll feud over it and exchange the belt for a while and theoretically elevate the title, I guess, I don't know, or elevate themselves, or I don't know. We'll see what happens, I suppose. We'll see how it turns out. I do anticipate, though, like I said, Mike the Miz Mizanin, co-host of, he called himself the host, I'm sure, of Talking Smack for this past week. Mike Mizanin qualifying himself away from The Miz, kept saying my wife, the Miz's wife, and talking about Maurice and talking about himself, and then in the third person, and we'll see how it works out. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. This is Fanboy Mark Cerrone. You're listening to the Totally Banana Ring Rust. See, because Eugene Ripper's from Quebec, and for whatever reason they don't put the S at the end of some of their pluralized words. Like the story where Mick Foley apparently got a call from Pat Patterson, and he says, and someone gave him the message, and he's like, no, it couldn't have been. Wait a minute. Did he leave off his S's? It's like, yes, he did. Okay, well, it must be Pat Patterson then. Or maybe is Pat Patterson the only one who does it? I don't know. I don't think. I could be mistaken, but anyway. So, we got 2 matches left. I'll do the main event after the Macho Fact, and you'll probably be happy. So, the SmackDown Live Women's Championship is on the line. A tables match with Becky Lynch defending against Alexa Bliss. Going back to my old rule, though, of if you're kind of challenging for the first time, you're probably not going to win it. I know I'm going back on what I said earlier when I said the Wyatt family / sure Wyatt not are going to end up winning the SmackDown Live tag titles, but I don't know. Again, there's an exception to every rule, but this is kind of how I feel about this particular match. I suspect Becky Lynch is probably going to retain, unless there's some shenanigans. There's always room for shenanigans. But I anticipate, though, like I said, Becky Lynch going to defend.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM. Ring Rust presents Macho Facts. While urinating, Randy Savage is easily capable of welding titanium. And the Macho Man once sued the Houghton Mifflin textbook company when it became apparent that their account of the War of 1812 was plagiarized from his autobiography.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter at Mark Jabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboy Mark Jabroni.
This is Fanboy Mark Cerrone. You're listening to Ring Rust. So the final match, the main event as it were, because WWE's been doing weird things with their quote-unquote main events. It's like, well, we got 3 main events at this show, and we're going to start with one of them. So, anyway, so the main event, the one main event of TLC on the WWE Network from Dallas, Texas, sees AJ Styles defending the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Dean Ambrose in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Dean's been challenging for the title, so he could win it. You know, by the logic that I myself have set up, he could win it. I don't quite see it just yet, though. Maybe one more after this, but you never know. They could say, "Oh, now we'll just have him win it this time," and I wouldn't be disappointed. Wouldn't be surprised really all that much either. I do anticipate AJ Styles is going to retain his title, at least, like I said, for now. Maybe the next big one. What's the next big one? Royal Rumble? Yeah, so maybe at that. Maybe at the Royal Rumble. Or maybe on the Raw after. Or actually, it gets to be the SmackDown. Then, they've only just semi-recently done the brand split, so I don't know if they're going to do that. The SmackDown after insert pay-per-view here is going to be more important than the pay-per-view. They unfortunately do that with Raws, so hopefully they'll stray away from doing it with SmackDown, but we'll see. So, to recap, AJ Styles probably going to win. I wouldn't be disappointed or sad or anything, or crying my beer to have it happen any other way, but I imagine with these two guys, it's going to be quite the slugfest. So here's to hoping.
Hey, this is Chris Jericho, Fozzy, in the Steve East of Canada, and you're listening to 93.5 right here.
I'll make you fun size. Ha ha ha! Cookies on dolls.
It's, I guess, being technical and nitpicky and pedantic, I suppose. So, this is Fabio Mark Jabroni. You're listening to... Oh, God. What does this guy want? If I can have your attention, please. I just received an email from the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager. Hashtag beating a dead horse. What are you going to do now you're done with the pay-per-view preview? So, well, I'll do what I usually do. I just fill it in with news from the Ring Rust Facebook page. You want me to make an official decision about it? Sure, I'll make an official decision about it. Picking up my Magic Smart Ball, which I got from ProWrestlingCrate.com close to a year ago now, I think. I mean, I didn't really write down when I received it, so guess I could have took note of it. But let's see. I can consult with the sticker which is on my knapsack, because when they started doing this, they had stickers that they held the boxes together with. And they had like a pin, which was a replica of the sticker, which I really liked. I got all the pins, I got all the stickers. And, well, now they've stopped doing it since they went to ProWrestlingTees.com. But oh well. So, should I continue doing my show from just reading news from the CHMR's Ring Rust Facebook page? Click on like if you haven't already. Dusty finish. So, fantastic. That means yes, because I'm going to do it anyway. And I was just placating the ridiculous Ring Rust general manager. So, Authors of Pain are in line for an NXT Tag Team Championship shot from DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, at the January 28th NXT TakeOver San Antonio event during Royal Rumble weekend. After recently winning the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, because Dusty finish, and manager Precious Paul Ellering, not really going by Precious anymore, but I just thought I'd throw that in there, indicated at this week's NXT tapings that the AOP would face the winners of the Revival versus DIY. That match was taped for late December and saw DIY retain in their rematch from the TakeOver Toronto event. Spoilers. The proceedings should not have been listened to by anyone who wanted to avoid spoilers. Yeah. Bobby Roode earned a shot at NXT champion Samoa Joe, apparently also for TakeOver in January. That match may be changed to Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura, as the former champ has a title shot this weekend in Osaka, Japan. The Authors of Pain versus Do-It-Yourself, they don't go by Do-It-Yourself, but that's what DIY stands for. So, Radio Shrug could also see a change, as TM61's scheduled to receive a title shot on December 13th in Sydney, Australia. Everyone's getting a title shot in their home country. Oh, well. No word yet on who My Secret Girlfriend and NXT Women's Champion Asuka will face at TakeOver, but a feud with Ember Moon has been expected. There was no sign of Ember versus Asuka at this week's tapings, but the champ was called out by Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, who apparently don't know how to learn from their previous mistakes. Well, anyone who calls out Asuka doesn't teach the one coming after. It's like, well, you gotta look at, you call out Asuka, okay. Well, why don't you look at this history of people who call out Asuka? No, we don't have time for that. We only have 5 minutes to do this, and we're doing it. It's like, but it's just a really quick video. It's like 2 minutes, and it's queued up right here. No, we're going out to challenge her right now. But with cuter Australian accents and through female vocal cords. Asuka cut a promo in this week's NXT episode about how there's no competition left, as seen on the page right there. So,
like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/RayRust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni. And subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni.
So, we got one last thing we're going to be talking about, and then it's pretty much just the end of the show, I guess. As noted, it's now official that Brock Lesnar will join Bill Goldberg and 28 other superstars, or as Paul Heyman called them, 29 other victims, in the 30-man Royal Rumble main event in January. WWE hasn't confirmed an injury, but Paul Heyman mentioned during an interview on Raw that the Beast Incarnate suffered cracked ribs after taking the first spear from Old Whisker Biscuit at their Survivor Series match.
That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.